All right, so you're here from the very beginning of this one. No, of course, this couldn't be the beginning. This is an old piece that I created out of air-dried clay long time ago, I guess 2 years ago. And it held up pretty well for the most part, but one lock, two locks broke. Did this one break? No. So just these two locks broke. And it was just a freestyled abstract piece that I was really pleased with. I thought it came out beautifully, but didn't want to have to repair that air-dried clay. So I'm just spinning it around so that you can see it. And I'm going to start building something similar from scratch again. It's not necessarily going to look exactly like this, but, you know, hopefully as close as I can get, because I just love the vibe of the beard, you know, being outlaid like that, if that's a word. Like I said, it's really dusty. It's been sitting out on the patio, so that's what it looks like. And I'm going to start with a block of clay and keep this up here for a sort of reference point. There, and hope for the best. So I've got a new clay order that's going to be coming in. Let me move this back a little bit because every time I bump the table, it's going to be right there. So I've got a new clay order that's coming in, but I think I'll be good with using half of the remainder of this block. So I'm just pulling the bag down over it right now, and then I'm going to get the cutting tool, scraper tool, however you end up using it. That's what the name is at that moment. So I'm calling it the cutting tool for right now. My cat is hungry and the boy won't feed him because he's thrown up a few times because he's become a crackhead for a fancy feast. And now he's thinking that he's just consuming so much so quickly because he's in love with it, and that's upsetting his stomach. So we've decided to just start giving him like a half a can, letting a few hours go in between that, and then giving him the rest of the can. So he is losing it right now. He's real aggravated, and I guess that has resulted in him having zazoomies. So he's running back and forth all over the place trying to, I guess, get out his frustration. So if you hear sudden noises or see my son come through, that's why. So anyway, here's the tool I'm going to be using. I just had to scrape it a little bit, and I'm trying to decide where I want to start chopping. I'm just trying to manipulate the clay so that this bottom part will be flatter. And I'm also trying to decide which part I'm going to use, or which end, this end or this end, to be the base. Yikes. Clumsy. I gotta move this out of the way, guys. All right, I'm back. I think that this part of the base is okay. All right. I'm just gonna go right in. I'm just making sure that this can stand upright on its own. I want to leave that base there, and the beard is going to come out of this way. I might have taken too much off there, but we'll figure it out as we go along. This is where the face is going to be, and I'm sort of looking at this and just making a determination on how I'm going to sculpt, because I have to leave enough room for a forehead area that I'll probably have to build up because I think I cut it too short. A nose area is going to come down like that, and then nice full lips, and then lead into the beard. So I think I'm okay with that being the nose area. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice that out. Slice up and into to make a ledge for the lips. And I'm just pulling that away. It's sloppy, I know. That's okay. It doesn't stay sloppy unless you intend for it to be that way. So I'm just going in from a bit of a profile view right now. See what I'm going to do. And like I said, I think I want a little bit more forehead, maybe that piece right there might actually be perfect. So what I'm gonna do, remember I got my container, guys? Remember before when it was just in the, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I think this was a really bad idea. Yeah, this was a bad idea. I need to stick with the plate how I had it because I guess it being in this airtight container caused all my slip to mold. See that? So this has to get thrown completely out. That sucks. So now I've got to start from scratch and make some more slip. Now what I used to do was keep the slip in here with a plate over top of it, and I never had that happen where it turned to mold like that. So I guess, I'm sorry, I'm moving around. I guess because it wasn't airtight, it allowed for some moisture to escape. Not so much was how I did it using the plastic container. So you live and you learn. And I'm pulling from my bag of crumpled clay right here, trying to get to the bottom where more of the finer pieces are. And then I'll mix some water in that, which is always nearby. I usually just about cover it. Lift this up so you can see it a little better. And then I'll just sort of stir it around with this tool. Now it's gonna have to set for a while. It's not gonna be ready for me for a hot minute, but I don't really need it right now. This clay is still soft and pliable enough that I feel pretty confident that just serrating it, I'm gonna use the fork because I want deeper grooves, and uniting it after I wet this down really well will be enough to establish a solid connection. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm really disappointed about that mold. So now I'm serrating the piece that I'm going to join using my spray bottle, and I'm squirting real gently because I want the water to pool up into those crevices. Same thing here. Want the water to pool up, and now I'm just gonna twist and press. Twist and press because I want those pieces to really join. So I'm twisting and pressing down. Because I've serrated it, that should be enough, I hope. I'm gonna go ahead and take the tool and just smooth down the edges. Pressing it down because I want this to be very, very united. And this excess can just get wiped off. You know, we'll use all of that up. So now, for the bridge of his nose, I'm just gonna take and roll out a piece of clay into a tube. Not even that much of a tube. That's about where I went with it. Doing some deep scoring on the nose. Same thing with this piece. I don't think there's any portion of my slip that's ready. Well, this is a little bit. It's still real soupy. That's okay. I want that wet for this joining. That's fine. And I still have to come in here occasionally and stir the slip around in the bowl so that the clay can get saturated and I can mix it to a smoothness eventually. Start doing some smoothing out of this. Pressing in, like I said, a lot of slip, so I'm getting ready to have to wipe a considerable amount of excess off of here. And again, that's fine. That's what I want, and nothing gets wasted. It all gets used. And you know, my sculptures are representative of my people, my culture's features, and we have many different variations of features. One that I'm particularly fond of because I think we rock it so beautifully are broad, prominent noses. I love that. So you're usually going to see very broad, prominent noses on men or women, whoever I'm sculpting, because I think it's beautiful. And I do want to start to vary the features a little bit more, and I will eventually, but you know, what you love is what you love. And you're always sort of going to reflect that or return to it to some degree. I need to put this on the side of the table. So I'm scraping it off of here and putting it on the side of the table because I'm getting this turntable a little bit too messy. And since I have a lot more work to do, I don't want all of that on it. So I'm just scraping. Now right there is where I joined two pieces, and I can see where a nice little opening is occurring. So I'm pressing the extra soft clay into that area to make sure that that part is sealed off nicely. And hopefully no air bubbles exist or anything that could cause it to be vulnerable in the kiln and explode or break off. That's the hope. Again, I am new to this, not true to this, so everything that you're hearing me speak about is from my limited experience and things that I'm hearing from YouTube University. Not because I've got this mastered, I'm a long way from that. But so far, I've had, out of the 2 years for the pieces that I've worked on in clay that has to be kiln fired, let's see, 6 plus 9. So I have 15 pieces that have come out. The first firing was 6 pieces. All of those came out successfully. One broke once I got home because I put it down. I can't even lie and say roughly. I just didn't understand how vulnerable bisque firing still can be. The new studio says that they really think that maybe it wasn't fired quite high enough for that not to happen, and that's why it was still brittle in its way. All of my pieces at the new studio, that was 9 of them, they all came out unscathed. No breakage out of the kiln. All of the breakage that happened was in transit to the studio while it was still in its greenware state, which is when it has not been fired at all. It's been molded, it's been attended to, but heat has not hit it, and it's crazy vulnerable then. So yeah, it broke a couple of pieces. I think 3 of them broke on the way, and we were able to very successfully repair 2 of them. One of them has a lock that refuses to stay on, and it's a very large piece, and it's a piece that I spent a lot of time on. So I'm going to do some more research about techniques for repair, methods and approaches, because I'm not about to give up on that. Like, that's not happening. So here's me adding a little more clay to this area because it's going to go right into here. And again, a lot of hand molding at this point because the clay is so soft and it has almost a sticky consistency to it. So it's pretty much going to latch on very well without you having to do a whole lot of serrating and finessing and pressing and molding. It wants to join together at this stage because all of it is at the same degree of moistness. Once again, feeling for symmetry by manipulating on the left side and the right side and trying to be very aware of what both sides feel like under my fingers. Which is higher, which is lower. That helps me make the decision on something I want to make lower and something another area or another side that I would prefer to be higher so that more closely matches the other side. And you can do that just by going in and feeling along. Does it feel the same? If not, make it enough. No, it's like, make it feel the same. Some of y'all know what happened just then. If you know what the phrase "make it enough" is from, hit me in the comments. I'm always curious. The one good thing about these little nails that I have, I just had to cut down this hand. This hand is longer, but sometimes they work as a tool and allow me to get in spaces and approach it in a way that I wouldn't be able to without having to grab up one of the actual tools. And sometimes when you're doing handwork, you just want to do only handwork, you know? All right. It's definitely about constantly moving your sculpture around, looking at it from the back view, looking at it from a side view, looking at it from the front view, and you'll see areas that are indented or molded in a way that you didn't really want. And you fix that along as you go. This area right here needs more build up, so I'm just putting clay. I'm flattening out this area because that's where I'm going to be connecting more clay for the beard. And I know I'll have to serrate that. So I want it flat. Nighttime, no! Man, I wish you'd come get your cat. Really do. Really do. No one's listening to me. All right, now it's time to start building out this cheek area, just like I did on the other side. Just using some easy finger application with little pieces. All right, this is where we are going to stop for right now. Come back later and do a little bit more. I'm putting all of the wet pieces of clay right next to it, spraying him down real quick. Sleep is off to the side. And I'm just going to loosely cover it with a bag because I'm not done working. Go clean my hands up, and then I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Peace.